Hello everyone, this is the VC chat room again and me, Olga Afanasieva. Today we have the guest from the European Union and he's Luigi Amati. Hi Luigi, thank you for finding
Hello.
the opportunity.
Hello, hi Olga. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Great to have you again. Last time we saw each other in Kyiv before quarantine.
Yes, yeah, different times.
Yeah, different times. I will give the short introductions of affiliation of Luigi, what is he doing, and some of the points we will also discuss during the dialogue. So Luigi is the president of Business Angels Europe. He is also one of the founders of Italian Angels for Growth, which is the largest angel group in Italy. And he's the president, the chairman of the Meta Ventures. This is an investment company that manages over 100 million euro under management, and already 60 million euro were invested in different companies across the European Union. So you have a lot of experience in like angel investing, in supporting companies at early stage and probably later stage. So how do you see the change during this, like hectic period with this basically new reality? Do you see a lot of, like new patterns for angel investing behavior?
Well, what I would say is that, it all came so quickly that, it's been a little bit of a rush of thinking for everybody. What do we do now? Because, it came really in February, there was nothing. And then in March, we were all locked down. So I believe that people start quickly to think about this. And of course, they have reshaped a little bit their thinking also in terms of angel investing and in terms of, what to do next. I believe that, now that we are 2 months and a little bit more into this, after the outbreak of the COVID, I think that there are some clear patterns that have emerged. I feel that, first of all, more or less everybody is more focused. And more focus means that, of course, you're much more selective in investing. So probably, you're not investing as much as you were investing before, or not, let's say, with the same level of comfort in every different sector, every different activity. There is much more focus on what really matters. And so what does really matters in this period are certainly two things. The first thing is related to the fact that there is a global concern, of course, around health and health-related matter, especially, I think, around what it is, the fragility, if you like, of our health systems, and how this can still, get us by surprise. And how long does it take just to have simple, manufacturing of masks, and so on and so forth. So I think there is a lot of attention in these areas and these sectors where, of course, always as there is a huge crisis, there is a huge opportunity. And then I think in general, the second element of focus is not a sector, but it's, the existing companies in portfolio. A lot of us investing in sectors which basically had to shut down for 3 months have seen companies, going massive changes and massive crises. And we need, to take sudden decisions, because how do you know if, putting more money into something that it's going, really bad in these 3 months, it's going to be the good choice, or if this company, it's gone forever, especially when you are at the very, very early stage. So very, very careful choices in general, supporting, I think, the existing portfolio. So I would say the two main trends are health related and reinforcing existing portfolio companies.
Yeah, I recently read the article on Financial Times, and the title was something like Zoom board meetings are still fine for venture capitalists.
Yes.
What is your thought regarding this? Will some of the habits stick in the post-COVID, let's say, life? What will you personally maybe take after this?
Well, I mean, yeah. Again, probably it's too early to tell. I'm sure that, we all went much more digital than we were 3 months ago. I mean, think about the kids in school, basically they had to learn how to study and how to follow the teacher being home. And, and this is normally a very interactive type of activity, especially when you are in primary school education. It's all about even, smiling and touching and doing all these kind of things. Yet they went digital in 3 months. So, I mean, for investors, and especially for angel investors, I don't want to say that it's like for kids, but, angel investors normally like to have this personal touch, like to meet the entrepreneur. We always say that we invest also according to gut feelings. The team is the most important, and to really know the team, maybe you have to go out for dinner with them, or talk for long hours. So will this translate in investing much more online? I believe so, because I think that everyone has seen that we can do a lot online, and probably this has taken off a lot of pressure from us in terms of traveling and having to move around continuously. So we can certainly, I think, discard a part of all that movement or face-to-face meetings. But I still believe that in the end, before putting serious money in companies and so on and so forth, majority of people will still want to meet and feel, if you like, the entrepreneur. So I believe that we will see an adjustment shifting a bit towards more digital, but not a radical change in a few months.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thanks for sharing. So I think is one like very important thing is not only to educate the entrepreneurs, but also educate the investors, and in particular angel investors. And in that sense, we in the organization that I manage, UVCA, Ukrainian Venture Capital Private Equity Association, together with ESEAL, which were like initiating and heading, which is the early stage investors launchpad. You do a lot for educating the angels. So my questions are the following. What are the biggest challenges you see in terms of educating the investors? And what has already been done in that direction, like where the angels investors, the beginners can address? Maybe you can give some suggestions in that sense.
Yes, thank you, Olga. Yeah, indeed, I think that ASIL, the European Early Stage Investors Launchpad, is a platform that has been launched by Business Angels Europe and some other partners in collaboration and funded by the European Commission. And it is foreseen that this platform will continue also for the coming years. It is dedicated to building capacity of angel investors, and also to make angel investors and other early stage investors communicate and know better each other. We always think that angel investors are the main source of tangible private money, but we don't have to forget that there are platforms like with modern technology crowdfunding, or more traditional platforms like venture capital funds and early stage venture capital funds that can be other sources of early stage investing. So we are bringing all of them together. The challenge in terms of building capacity is that angel investing can really thrive in an environment which is, if you like, entrepreneurially minded and entrepreneurially inclined. So I think that in order for angel investing to flourish, you need to have an entrepreneurial culture, and this is something that you cannot, develop in one day or even in 1 year, and maybe not even in 10 years. It takes generations to really develop a strong entrepreneurial culture. Having said so, I believe that new generations, the millennials and so on, are catching up very, very quickly. General global conditions are making them, if you like, entrepreneurial, although not always let's say entrepreneurial for opportunity, but sometimes for need. And so the culture of entrepreneurship is coming strong in many, many countries. We still see a lot of differences between, even within, let's say, Western Europe. If you take the UK's with comparison to Mediterranean countries, there is a huge difference in the amounts of angel investing. And even more so if we go towards Eastern Europe, the difference is massive. And we shouldn't forget that when you compare it to the number of inhabitants, the population, and the GDPs, and so on and so forth, Europe overall, it's about 20% with respect to the US, just to give you an idea of what angel investing can be in a well-developed culture. So Asile is working in this direction. There is still a lot to do, but you know, everybody is invited to join the platform. It's called the European Asile, and I'm sure we can share together with you the links afterwards where everybody can register and already find a lot of tools and also a lot of videos on learning more about how to be an angel investor and what it is angel investing.
Yeah, we will add the link to the eSeal platform, which is free and available for anyone, under this video on YouTube channel. So you're welcome to watch the videos and learn something new from that if you're an investor. And I want to remind, for those who are watching us live, is that you can write down your questions under this video, and at the end of the interview, which will come unfortunately very soon, but I can ask them to Luigi. So don't forget to ask some provocative and interesting questions. Thank you for sharing this information about eSeal. So people get educated and then they want to invest their own money. Where can they go? Where can they, you know, like to whom they can address if they want to co-invest with someone? What are these average tickets? Probably maybe to Business Angels Europe, for example, or maybe somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can share with you my personal experience, which through the years I've learned it's the experience of a lot of angel investors. When I started doing my first initial investments into, you know, other companies, first of all, I didn't know it was called angel investing. And second, I didn't know what it was to behave as an angel investor. I was just having friends or people I thought had a good idea. And I'm an entrepreneurially minded person, so I like to see other people having the same motivation for launching, you know, their ideas. There's opportunities. So for a few years, I did it, if you like, you know, do it yourself or, you know, by myself, just spending a little bit of time and a little bit of money. But for me, I mean, the breakthrough was actually a trip or several trips that I had the luck to take in the US together with another group of people. And I visited a lot of different angel groups and angel clubs and early stage investors. And actually visiting, you know, organized networks, organized clubs, see how they work, what kind of processes, why one is working better than the other, and so forth. I mean, for me, this was a breakthrough. And the Italian Angels, the club that I co-founded, started like this. After this trip, I mean, we were nine founders, and today I think we are 220. So it's you know, you couldn't believe. And on top of that, what is interesting to know is that that club was actually born in the middle of the crisis of 2008. So, you know, angel investing is also anti-cyclical because they look at longer term view. So although there was a big crisis, still we could grow a lot during that time. So my best recommendation to everyone is try to look into, you know, existing clubs. I know maybe there are not so many in Ukraine, but, you know, I'm sure there are ways of joining even online, you know, pitching, but also take the time to travel, to visit how people are acting. Form clubs yourself. When we started, we were just 9 people, not knowing much. You know, we just were asking procedures and methodologies to others, and then we learned by doing. So, you know, don't be afraid of starting and sharing your knowledge with other people. But I think it is fundamental to get started within these existing, if you like, you know, networks. And Business Angels Europe can be another platform. We have the so-called Business Angels Europe Club that gathers together, let's say, some of the large angel groups across Europe. And little by little, we are gathering also angel clubs from Eastern Europe. We recently had 2 new clubs joining. I can mention maybe one is the CEO Angels from Sofia, from Bulgaria. Mm-hmm. And the other one is the Tech Angels from Bucharest, from Romania. So the 2 largest angel groups in these countries joined. And I'm sure that if anyone from Ukraine would like to join, you know, at least to see how we work in the BAE club, there is a lot of education there. We run e-pitching. I mean, in COVID times, one thing I didn't mention, but in COVID times, the last e-pitching we had inside the BAE Club, we had 110 angels, actively listening to investment opportunity across Europe. So it's a good time, and I think it's possible. But learning from others in this case will help you save a lot of mistakes, a lot of time, and possibly, I think, some money as well.
Yeah, I guess we have the audience like very international. A lot of people from like from Asia, also from Europe, from US. So
Right.
it's important to know that, for example, Business Angels Europe is the organization which is like across Europe, not only located in one country, in Belgium or like in Italy. So it's an interesting point to note. And the other thing that also interests people is that how much money basically you have to bring to one deal. Like, are we talking like about like 100,000 euros for investing in one round, or it can be like smaller check, like 5,000, for example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, just one word on Business Angels Europe. This is a confederation of all the national angel investing associations of, let's say, the largest European countries and in general across Europe, like the UK Business Angels or the German Business Angels, France Angels, Italy, and so on and so forth. So we cover over 270, I think, organized network. And the last time we counted inside this network, so visible market, we have about 45,000 business angels. So on top of that, you have all the invisible angels, which are a lot. So really, I think, and our aim, as I was just saying before, is to expand our activities into more countries and grow and build capacities. In terms of amount of investments, I believe that there are sweet spots for angel investing. It's impossible to generalize, but I think that you can think more of like individual angels that would maybe select one company. They really like it. They really want to to go along with it. They're really able to spend also some good time together with it. In this case, probably the investment can be in the orders of the tens of thousands of euros. I mean, average ticket for a lot of angel investors are between 15, 20,000 euro, but then they also enter into the board, they spend time, so they have the company grow. When you start to be being an organized group like we are at Italian Angels, but in general angel groups and angel network, then as you were saying, probably the average ticket grows to hundreds of thousands of euros. So in our case, it's quite common that, for instance, you have 20 or angels investing each a ticket of 15, 20,000 euro, so you can easily reach 300 to 400,000 of euros. And to be honest, today angel groups are growing so much in size that although it's still, I would say, an exception to the rule, but there are rounds of investments in which we have been able to raise up to 1 million euros. So it is growing also from this point of view. Collaboration with the venture capital industry and venture capital fund is becoming more and more intense. We have frequent meetings, and I think the gap in between these two areas, if you like, of angel investing and Series A, it's becoming smaller and smaller.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But let's also look at these things from the point of view of the startup founder who is raising capital. What new patterns do you see in the fundraising process? I mean, from the startup point of view, and maybe which recommendations can you give them in order to raise the capital in these turbulent times when angel investors are not really active for obvious reasons?
Well, I mean, first of all, what I would say is that the picture here is very scattered. I mean, there is not a single geography, and you need to check a little bit country by country. If I go deeper in my own country, in Italy, I can tell you that probably there will be more amount of money to be invested in startups during this year than in any other previous year. You have to think that, I will give you just two things. The first is that for an angel investor investing up to 100,000 euro, the Italian government brought the fiscal deduction of this investment up to 50%. And imagine that only 2 or 3 years ago, it was 19%. So you invest 100,000 and you get 50,000 back from the government. So I'm pretty sure that this will mobilize quite a lot of private investors, even in COVID times, even probably more than before. On the other side, there is also quite a strong public intervention. So there has been 2 recent announcements of funds that have been launched, one with the mandate to invest in funds which are, if you like, attached to accelerators and incubators for over 200 million euro, and another one which is attached to technology transfer, which is managed by the Innovation Agency in Italy, which has a size of €500 million. So in 3 months, COVID has probably mobilized, more money than, in the last 3 or 4 years. It is not the same in every country. Not every country has taken this approach. Some countries are just not giving this amount of resources. But I think, you need to look country by country. I don't think that this is necessarily a bad time for entrepreneurs to raise money, especially if they're smart and they go, towards the right sectors and the right opportunities, nor a bad time for angel investors to invest their money. Because if you couple the 50% tax discount, for instance, in Italy, with probably cheaper price you have to pay to invest in a startup, in 3-4 years, you might find out that this was your best time for investing.
Yeah, well, actually pretty impressive what is done in Italy during this time for intensification of angel investing activity as well as entrepreneurial. That's great. I hope my country will look at that too.
Yeah, well, other countries are doing that too. I know that you started a startup initiative as well, which is funding, if I understand correctly, between 20 and 100,000 euro on startups and so on. So I think that, you really need to look at country by country, but I believe in general, governments have understood that also public-led measures need to be deployed. And what was impressive, again, in the case of Italy, at least I can say, is the speed of deployment. These type of measures normally in Italy take 2 years before they go through all the rounds of parliaments and legislation and this and that, whereas now they've been active in 3 months.
Yeah.
So
well,
quite impressive.
Yeah, it really is. It's very interesting. I want to remind that you still have a few minutes to write a question down, and I will address Luigi with my last question. So, as I say here, I believe that the real leader is the reader. So maybe you could recommend us a book for venture capitalists, for entrepreneurs, or just a book that impressed you during the recent time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm happy to share with you. There are so many books on angel investing. I'm happy to share a list with you. I would be not making justice to the many angel investors that have wrote around angel investing. There are very famous one both in the US and in Europe, and I'm sure that I can share a list with you of the main books on the specific topic, but. Probably, I think, to provide a little bit of a different angle for angel investor to think about what we should be doing next. I believe that we can look at what is happening in our economy. It's something that to a certain extent, we were already seeing. If you think about the end of last year, the beginning of this year, all the discussion was about the climate, the environment, the fires, and now the virus. So it's all about what relates to health and sustainability, and corporates are very, very quickly steering towards social responsibility, circular economy. So I believe that a book that really captures quite well this massive shift of what is happening. It's a book that was published already a few years ago that is called The Entrepreneurial State. by a lady, Professor Mazzucato from the University College of London, that published, lately other books like The Value of Everything. And, in 1 or 2 months, there will be a new book called The Mission Economy, which has been orienting, for instance, all the Horizon Europe and Horizon 2020 research program. Is this sense that, we need to understand that, governments have to take a certain level of active role in driving also, if you like, choices that private investors, dismantling a little bit the mythology that Silicon Valley has been created only by entrepreneurs, but instead it was created also by massive investment from the government, defense agencies, space agencies, and so on and so forth. So I think that this is a good moment for people to think that really, you have to invest in something that it's really, creating value, and it's not just extracting value. I think we're being very focused on, extracting as much as possible value. And I think that from now on, more and more people will be understanding that if you invest in something that creates value, maybe you don't see the return in 1 year, but angel investors are quite patient. They may see the returns in 5 years, 10 years. And if you start thinking in that direction, I think it's a good way of thinking. So I would start with the entrepreneurial state. And then if you like what this lady writes about, probably you can dig deeper into that.
Thank you for sharing the book. It will also be included under this video, so everyone can buy or download it and read. And yes. Unfortunately, we have to finish. Thank you once again, Luigi, for spending this time with us.
My pleasure.
It was very informative and interesting. We will highlight the main points on YouTube under the video, so you're very welcome to use the opportunities mentioned by Luigi Amati, who is the president of Business Angels Europe, as well as the founder of Italian Angels for Growth and the chairman of Meta Ventures.
Okay.
And it was VC Chat Room, which is powered and brought to you by me, Olga Afanasieva, and my soulmate, Olga Stedarchuk. Follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, Luigi, once again. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.